Hello, my name doesn't really matter, does it? Let's just call me Carlos for now. I'm 45, but I've seen and done more than most men would in 5 lifetimes. You wouldn't know me if you passed me on the street. An ordinary man, nothing special, a shadow among shadows. That's how I like it. I wasn't born with a silver spoon. Quite the opposite, actually. My mother was a prostitute in a grimy part of town that most people only saw in their nightmares. She never wanted to be a mother, and she sure as hell didn't want me. As for my father, take your pick. Could have been any man in that sleazy part of the world, likely nameless himself. So I walked into this life without a real name or a real family, only a gut instinct that screamed, survive no matter what. My first crime, I remember it clear as day. I was maybe 8, and already hungry, tougher than most kids my age. Some fancy-dressed old man dropped his wallet, and I swooped in, snatching it up like I'd been born to do it. The thrill, that rush of adrenaline, I didn't just take as cash. I took something deeper, like I was finally in control. That was the moment I realized I wasn't going to let life to the taking. No, I was going to be the one in control, the one calling the shots. As a teenager, I ran with a group of so-called friends. We were a pack of wild dogs, and each of us was hungrier than the last. They taught me a few things about business. Cash wasn't just paper. There was power, and there was real money in the organ trade. They brought me in as a courier, a mule. My job was simple: pick up the package, deliver it, take the cash, and keep my mouth shut. Didn't matter what was inside. Didn't matter who wanted it. I didn't ask, and they didn't tell. I was paid handsomely, and that was all that mattered. Soon, I had women clinging to me, booze in my hand, and drugs that kept me high enough to forget I ever crawled out of that gutter. Life was one big, twisted carnival, and I was right at the center of it. But, you see, there's this thing about living on the edge. You start to see the people above you, the ones pulling the real strings. The bosses, the suits, the men with the money and the muscle. They had something I didn't. They didn't need to run around, risk their necks. They lived in mansions with marble floors and gold-trimmed everything. They drove the kind of cars that turned heads. They didn't just taste luxury, they own it. I wanted that. And I'd be damned if I was going to spend my life delivering packages when I could be the one giving the orders. So I took it to the next level. I became the hunter. I'd prowl the streets, eyes sharp, ears open. I'd watch mothers with strollers, parents too busy checking their phones to realize they were turning their backs on the most precious thing in their lives. All I needed was a second of distraction, a single careless moment, and that baby was gone. Simple, clean, efficient, just business. I had connections in all the right places by then. I knew exactly where to take them, no questions asked. A highly respected doctor at a major hospital, a man whose daily routine involved saving lives, was happy to help me process the merchandise. I was the invisible hand delivering him his goods, and he took it from there. What he did with those little hearts and livers, that wasn't my concern. I was paid to bring the supply, and there was always demand. After infants, I moved on to older kids. Those who walked home from school alone were perfect targets. The operation was practically flawless. I was in and out before anyone realized a kid was missing. Every job up the pay, and with each paycheck, I got closer to the life I wanted. Each organ meant more cash, more power. Another step away from the life I had clawed out of and into the empire I was building. I was becoming the man people feared. The kind of man who didn't need to lift a finger if he didn't want to. I was becoming untouchable. Today, I'm retired. Other people do the dirty work for me now, and they know better than to cross me. I've got a mansion in South America that rivals any of those villas the bosses used to flaunt. I drive the cars I used to dream about, and my days of running packages or picking pockets are long behind me. Every so often, a whisper from my past floats by, but I don't flinch. I don't have to. Some people live their lives apologizing for what they've done, haunted by their pasts. Not me. I did what I had to do. It's paid off. I've won this game, fair and square. I'm Carlos, the king of an empire I built with my own hands.